We can't have anyone on the inside of the house until detectives give us approval.
Why are there detectives in the house?
Carter was taken alive. Beth and Rip were ready to tear the cartel apart to get him back. But what if the biggest shock waiting for us in Dutton Ranch Season 2 is not Carter's rescue, but Carter's death? The Season 2 trailer could completely change the direction of the story with one brutal reveal. Tom killed Carter. And if that is really where this story is heading, then Rip is not going to forgive anyone. Because Carter was no longer just a kid caught in the middle of a cartel war. He had become part of Beth and Rip's family, and losing him could turn their fight against Mariano into something much darker. The finale already left us with Carter in the hands of dangerous people, Beth promising that Mariano would regret making this personal, and Rip knowing that waiting was no longer an option. But now the question is much bigger. Who actually has Carter? Why would Tom want him dead? And if Tom really is the person responsible, what happens when Rip finds out the truth? Dutton Ranch Season 2 has a completely different kind of story waiting to unfold, because the Carter kidnapping has changed everything. Beth and Rip spent the entire first season trying to create a life away from the chaos that followed the Dutton name. They wanted their ranch, their own rules, and a future that did not depend on another family war. But that future lasted about as long as everything else in their lives. The wildfire already destroyed one chance at peace, the cattle operation became another problem, and their partnership with Beulah Jackson opened the door to a much bigger criminal operation than either of them expected. Then Mariano returned, old secrets started coming back, and Waken was forced to kill his own brother. But nothing hit Beth and Rip harder than Carter being taken. The moment Mariano turned Carter into a hostage, the conflict stopped being about money, territory, or business. It became personal. And that is exactly why the Season 2 trailer could begin with Beth and Rip believing they are going to bring Carter home, only for the story to reveal that they may already be too late. Imagine Rip finding out that Carter is dead before he even gets the chance to reach him. That would instantly change Rip's entire mission. He would no longer be trying to rescue Carter. He would be hunting the person responsible. And if the trailer really does point toward Tom as the killer, then Tom may have just signed his own death warrant. Rip has always been dangerous when someone threatens the people he loves, but Carter's death could push him beyond anything we've seen from him before. Beth would be just as devastated, but she would probably react differently. She would want answers. She would want to know who ordered the killing, why it happened, and whether Carter was killed because of something he knew. Rip, on the other hand, may not care about any of those questions. He may only care about finding Tom. And that difference between Beth and Rip could become one of the biggest conflicts of the new season. Because Beth thinks several moves ahead, while Rip has always been willing to make the move that everyone else is too afraid to make. That makes the Tom theory especially interesting. If Tom really killed Carter, the trailer may not show it directly. It could give us small clues instead. A reaction from Rip. A look from Beth. Tom suddenly disappearing. And maybe one line that completely changes how we understand Carter's final moments. Because there is a bigger question hiding behind this theory. Did Tom kill Carter on his own, or was he following someone's orders? If Mariano ordered Carter's death, then Tom becomes only one part of a much larger revenge story. But if Tom acted without permission, then Mariano's own operation could begin falling apart from the inside. And that would bring Waken back into the center of the story. Waken has already been pushed to the edge after being forced to kill his own brother. His loyalty has been tested again and again, and Carter's death could be the moment that finally breaks whatever connection he still has with Mariano. If Tom killed Carter because he was ordered to do it, Waken may be forced to choose between his father, Mariano, and the people he once considered family. If Tom acted alone, then Waken could see the killing as proof that nobody inside this operation can be trusted anymore. Either way, the cartel storyline would become much more dangerous. And that is where Season 2 could become bigger than the first season. The first season was about Beth and Rip trying to protect their new life. Season 2 could be about them destroying everyone who threatens it. The title itself, with the idea that Tom killed Carter, creates an immediate mystery. Is Carter really dead? Or is the trailer trying to make us believe he is? Television has used fake deaths and misleading trailer edits countless times, and this story gives the writers plenty of room to play with that. A trailer could show Rip saying Carter's name, Beth crying, Tom looking terrified, and a body being carried away without ever confirming whose body it is. Then the internet would explode with theories. But if Carter is genuinely dead, the emotional consequences could be enormous. Beth and Rip would have to deal with the fact that the peaceful life they wanted has once again been destroyed by violence. And this time there may be no way to walk away. Carter was one of the few people who made their ranch feel like a home instead of a battlefield. Losing him could turn that ranch into the place where Rip decides to settle every remaining score. Mariano would obviously become one of his biggest targets, but Tom could become the real obsession if he is responsible for Carter's death. The interesting part is that Beth may not want Rip to rush into revenge. She knows how these wars work. She knows that killing one person rarely ends anything. It usually creates another enemy, another debt, and another reason for someone else to come after you. So while Rip may want to find Tom immediately, Beth could be trying to uncover the entire chain of command first. Who ordered Carter's kidnapping? Who ordered his death? Who benefits from Carter being gone? And most importantly, what did Carter know before he disappeared? Those questions could lead Beth directly into the heart of Mariano's operation. And if she discovers that Carter's death was not random, the entire Season 2 story could change again. There is also the possibility that Tom is being set up. Maybe someone wants Beth and Rip to believe Tom killed Carter, because they know exactly what Rip will do once he believes he has found the killer. That would create another layer of danger. Rip could spend the first half of the season hunting the wrong man while the real enemy continues moving behind the scenes. And Beth would probably be the first person to notice that something does not add up. This is where the new season could lean even harder into the thriller side of the story. Instead of simply asking whether Carter survives, we could be asking who is manipulating the entire conflict. Meanwhile, the ranch itself is still in trouble. Beulah's empire has been exposed, her authority has been shaken, and the criminal operation connected to the cattle shipments is no longer hidden. Everett has made his choice, Oriana's pregnancy raises another unanswered question, and Waken is dealing with the consequences of killing his own brother. None of these stories can remain separate forever. Eventually they have to collide. And Carter's fate could be the event that brings everything together. If Tom killed Carter, then Tom may become the spark that starts the biggest war Dutton Ranch has seen. Beth and Rip will not simply be defending their property anymore. They will be coming after the people who took someone from them. And if Rip discovers that Mariano knew Carter would be killed, there may be no negotiation left. But there is another possibility that makes the trailer even more interesting. What if Tom killed Carter because Carter escaped, discovered something important, or threatened to expose the cartel? In that case, Carter's death could be connected to a secret that Beth has not discovered yet. That secret could involve Beulah, Mariano, or even someone inside the ranch. And if that happens, Carter's death would not just be an emotional tragedy. It would be the key to understanding the entire criminal operation. Then there is the potential Yellowstone connection. The first season already ended with another Dutton kidnapping story in Marshall's, creating obvious questions about whether these shows could eventually cross paths. If Carter dies while Casey is dealing with the disappearance of his own son, the emotional stakes become even more complicated. Beth and Rip could need help from Montana while Casey could be dealing with a completely different crisis. The timing may make a direct crossover difficult, but the writers have already created a connection that is hard to ignore. And if Season 2 wants to surprise everyone, bringing a familiar Dutton face into this revenge story would be one way to do it. Still, none of this is confirmed. The biggest question remains whether the title is telling us the truth or deliberately giving away a false answer. Tom may have killed Carter. Tom may have been ordered to kill Carter. Or Carter may not even be dead. But one thing feels almost certain. The kidnapping has changed Beth and Rip forever, and Season 2 cannot simply return them to the life they were building before. If Carter survives, they will have to deal with everything he experienced. If Carter dies, they will have to live with the consequences of failing to save him. And if Tom is responsible, then Rip will not stop until he gets an answer. That is what makes this potential Season 2 trailer so exciting. It is not just teasing another cartel conflict. It is teasing a revenge story that could tear the entire Dutton Ranch apart. So, is Tom really the one who killed Carter? Is Carter actually dead? Or is the trailer hiding a much bigger twist? And if Rip discovers the truth, will Beth be able to stop him from turning the ranch into a war zone? Let me know your biggest Season 2 theory in the comments, And subscribe for the next deep dive when more Dutton Ranch news and trailer details start coming in.